Hey everybody, welcome to today's video. I had a couple videos planned for today, but I think one of them is probably gonna get pushed back till tomorrow based on breaking news that we had in the NBA and that New Orleans Pelicans head coach, former head coach now, Alvin Gentry, was released and relieved of his duties as head coach of the New Orleans Pelicans. My first reaction when I heard the news was I was actually shocked at the fact that they're releasing him and firing him from his duties as head coach of the Pelicans, because I thought, based on what he's been given over the last several years dealing with Anthony Davis, bringing in DeMarcus Cousins and everything he's had to deal with, I thought that maybe the new GM and new president of basketball operations, David Griffin, would give him a kind of little bit of a leeway, kind of a grace period, give him a couple years to kind of get things figured out, especially bringing in a brand new team with Lonzo Ball, Ingram, Josh Hart, JJ Redick, and obviously drafting Zion Williamson. And I thought maybe he would get some time to really develop these guys and to build something. But obviously the Pelicans had something else in mind. They didn't think that Gentry was the right fit for what they want to do going forward with this young team. And for me, I was a little surprised when I went to social media and then I saw a lot of people were expecting this. They were calling for his job. They didn't think that he would be a good coach for this team. And for me, I disagree with that. I think Alvin Gentry would have been a really good coach for this team, especially if he was able to implement that up-tempo style that he wants to implement, especially when, as bad of a scorer he is in Lonzo Ball, he's very good with up-tempo pace, being able to rebound the basketball as a very tall point guard, be able to push the break and things of that nature. And obviously having Zion Williamson, who thrives in transition more so than in the half court. But I was surprised that they decided to let Gentry go, because my thing is, when organizations fire head coaches, what is the alternative? I don't think the Pelicans' job is as enticing as a lot of people might think it is, because I think a lot of people look at Zion Williamson and they see that, yeah, he has a lot of talent and he has a high upside. There are some people who question that, will he able to obtain that upside, more so because of they're concerned about his weight and they're concerned about injuries, because he's been injured in high school, he's been injured in college, he's been injured in the NBA. And a lot of head coaches might be turned off with the next point I'm about to bring up, which I don't blame Gentry for and why he shouldn't have been fired. He was not able to coach the team the way he wanted to coach them, because the New Orleans Pelicans are coddling Zion Williamson by, holding him out of games, putting him under minutes restriction. I heard something they were doing in the bubble they called a burst restriction or something like that. I've never heard that term before used in the NBA. I've heard rest, heard load management, now I've heard burst management. Never heard of it once before in my life. And that's not Gentry's fault. He didn't make that call. If it was up to him, Zion Williamson would play 35 minutes a game, if not more. Zion Williamson had 4 months to recover from the knee injury he had at the beginning of the year, and he had time to stay in shape, but he did not stay in shape. That's not a Gentry problem. That's a Zion Williamson problem. It's also an organizational problem, because they are coddling Zion Williamson because they want to protect him from further injury. And my big thing is, once you start protecting players from injuries, they're going to continue to get injured, because you're more likely to get injured when you're trying to protect yourself out on the basketball court rather than going all out, being on full speed ahead. I don't think the organization is built for a player like Zion and to be successful, because they're not allowing Gentry to coach and do what he wants to do as a coach. Because when you tell him that, hey, Zion can't play but so many minutes, and the NBA structured this playing game for the bubble strictly for the Pelicans to have a chance to get in the playoffs. And the NBA and Adam Silver will not admit this. When they implemented it, they knew it was just to give the Pelicans a chance to get into the playoffs, because they know for their ratings, to make up the lost revenue that they had due to COVID, that a first round matchup between possibly the Lakers and the Pelicans was going to draw ratings. It's going to be a lot more exciting than Memphis versus the Lakers, or even Portland versus the Lakers. As good as Damian Lillard's been playing, he's not going to draw the same ratings that Zion did, because Zion, even in college, was pulling ratings higher than a lot of primetime NBA games, because he has that kind of draw, for good or for bad, because I don't think Zion as a player should draw that much ratings, but he does. There's a lot of enticing, there's a lot of likability to Zion, and there's a lot of highlights in his game that a lot of people love. The NBA structured the playoffs to get the Pelicans in. When they didn't make it, the onus fell on Gentry, even though he's not allowed to coach. He is being held back by the organization. So that's why I didn't feel like Gentry was going to get fired. I actually thought he was just going to be able to have a couple of years to build with this team, and if he doesn't show any signs of improvement, especially with the whole roster turnover, then maybe after a couple of years there's no improvement, then you move to a different direction. But my thing is, what's the alternative. You know, it kind of reminds me of Cleveland when they have these revolving door of coaches, and they got rid of Ty Lue after like 5 games the year after LeBron leaves, and they hired a coach out of Michigan, John Beilein, and they hired him and brought him in, gave him a 5-year contract. He was going to be able to work with the team and build with the team as a young team, even though they had, you know, veterans like Kevin Love and Tristan Thompson, but they had young players like Colin Sexton. And yet after half of a season, they already got rid of him because it just wasn't a good fit. That's always my biggest thing when organizations decide they want to fire coaches is what is the alternative? Who is a coach that's on the market, that's going to be on the market, that you're going to hire? You're going to hire Ty Lue? That's probably not going to be a good hire because he's better with veteran players. Are you going to somehow think that the Spurs are going to get rid of Greg Popovich because they missed the playoffs? I don't see that happening. There isn't a lot of good coaches that are on the market right now. They're on the market because they're not good coaches. Just like the coach out of Chicago just got fired the other day. Not a good coach. He does not fit well in the NBA system. So I don't agree with this firing of Alvin Gentry. Let me know in the comments what you guys think. Do you think he should have been fired? Do you think he should be able to keep his job? What do you suggest that the Pelicans should do going forward? I'll have a couple videos later on today that I was planning on doing, maybe just one other video tonight. So stay tuned for that. Make sure you subscribe to the channel, like this video, share this video, make sure you hit the bell so you get notified whenever I drop a video. I will start doing these a lot more often. I plan on having a really big weekend in terms of putting out videos. So you guys stay tuned for that, and I'll see you in the next one. Peace.